Hey everybody, do you like smoking weed, but you don't feel like paying for it? You'd rather grow your own, but you're like really bad at horticulture? Well, I got good news for you. I love growingmarijuana.com. At ilovegrowingmarijuana.com, you can find everything you need in order to grow the best, funkiest plants in the world. I swear to God, okay? They even got one thing called the Marijuana Grow Bible. By that, it'll literally take you through step by step by step in order to grow the best plants in the world. Go to ilovegrowingmarijuana.com. Check it out, link right below right here. You'll have a great time smoking your own homegrown stuff, my friend. Now, enjoy this episode, or the rest of the episode, wherever we happen to be in it. Oh, there's spider webs?
I'm constantly in a Luigi's Mansion state of anxiety.
Wow.
Like, Mario.
Oh. So you're just, it's so funny because like you're like really tiny person. So like, I just picture you walking through the air. I was like, guys, where are you?
You sound like Shaggy.
I sound like Shaggy? I sound like Shaggy? Fuck.
Right there, you did.
Zoinks. Anyway, are we recording, Chris? Oh, shit.
Woo.
All right. I'll just get right to it. Usually I try to like ease people in with like casual conversation, and all of a sudden, and I try to trick them because a lot of people will be like, some people are like, they ask me to record, I perform too much, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to trick people into realizing. Okay. But you're doing fine. So,
okay, good.
This is Millennial.
As long as I'm only doing fine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're doing satisfactory. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Millennial Stoner. My guest is Kelpy. Just Kelpy, like Cher, Prince.
Mm-hmm.
What's up? How you doing, man?
I'm doing really excellent today.
Thanks for coming down and doing this.
Yeah, I feel like the sun's peeking out a little bit in this, right after all that snow we've got on the island.
God damn, it got fucking cold, didn't it?
Yeah.
It got so unbearably cold. I know this is small talk, but it was like cold.
New York State, bitch.
Yeah, then it snowed for the first time in ever.
So strange. Yeah, like so strange right at the end here because it's like it's going to be spring this month.
Yeah, I was just talking about it because it happened during the mic and I drove back in it. And like my one thing, it was fine. Like I was okay. But like the only thing that really freaks me out is I was driving in the snow. I was going like 30 miles an hour the whole way. It took me like 2 hours to get home.
Literally, I'm 5 minutes away from that mic, and I went, "Oh, it's snowy. We'll just stay in for the night."
Everybody inside though was like,
everybody went. Yeah,
but everybody that was there, it's always a lot of people at that mic. But everybody that was there was like standing there, like, it's not going to snow till later. Like it'll snow at 10 o'clock. And of course, we started late because we're waiting for people to get there.
Listen, I have that Western New Yorker gene where my brain went, better go to the grocery store now. And I grocery store and back right before any precipitation hits. And I already had dinner made. So that's just, I'm just built like that.
Milk and eggs or milk and bread?
I got the milk and eggs. I made French bread pizzas.
You made French bread pizzas?
Well, they didn't have French bread. They only had like little tiny thin baguettes. So I had to do it with ciabatta
mini
bread.
Baguettes?
Yeah, well, no, I just got ciabatta bread instead.
Okay.
It's fat. Big fat
This
bread.
is very nice.
Yeah,
this is good. You telling me all about your storm days. This is a good, wholesome way to start a podcast. This is what I like to do. But you're one of the newer people that's come around recently because you've just moved back to Long Island, right?
Well, I just moved to Long Island. Moved to Long Island. Yeah, I'm not even from here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm originally from, I say I have a dual citizenship with Pennsylvania and New York State. So, I was born in this little town in Western New York, which is above, you guys just say it's all upstate, but, way up. There's like
the tip?
Yeah, like Canada. Canada, 2 hours from the Canadian border. There's a little town called Olean, New York, where I was born. But I was raised right over the border in Pennsylvania in a little tinier town called Eldred.
Okay. That's scary sounding. It's like a creepy sounding town. Welcome to Eldred.
Yeah, that's like when we were like teenagers, we were like Eldred.
Oh God.
That was all over MySpace.
Eldred. Oh, MySpace. So how old are you?
I'm 31.
Okay, so because I'm 35, so that you're you're in the same generation as me about, right?
Yeah.
The MySpace era, of course, continue Eldred. So you lived there for how long? And did you do comedy then, or were you just kind of a terror?
Terror.
Because it's always because anybody who does this is you don't do like I played baseball. There's always like something you did to fuck with something or somebody. You know what I mean? There's always something you did that like disturbed something.
Well, I was signed up for everything when I was a kid, so I did like all the.
Was that your choice, or was your mom like?
I like doing everything. No, I just kept me busy.
Just kept you busy.
And it was like not a lot of stuff to do in the small town areas. So like,
was it like small like like
No traffic
Main
lights.
Street, no traffic lights. Even I got traffic lights.
There's no traffic light
at all. Wow, I feel like you're having a harsh flashback to like.
I'm trying to remember if there even is one downtown. I don't think so.
So
I
is
think
that
there might be a flashing light or so.
So it's wow. So it's like a real small town. Like
Yeah.
one movie theater, if that.
No movie theater.
No movie theater.
You have to go to Olean.
You got to go to the next town over.
You gotta go to Olean. So you did bowling or movies?
Oh my God, you couldn't have it both?
Well, that's a big night.
Jesus.
That's two different towns. That's two different towns.
How long did it take to get to the other town? Like, if you were going to go to the movies, would it take you like an hour?
No, it only into Eldred is like 25 minutes.
Oh, come on.
So
you can do both.
But it's all like tiny little towns, just all separated.
But it's like you got to go through stretches of nothingness, is what you're saying. Like,
yeah, you got to drive through the swamp.
Ew, the swamp. Live near a swamp?
There's a I did live near a swamp.
Maybe I am a city boy. Maybe I'm like,
I grew up like in the country, but was like, whenever we visited cities and stuff, I was like, oh, this is awesome. Because I was just like the not into being from the country.
So you're like, I'm born in the country. I'm not into this.
I'm not like, I got,
what about it?
Oh God, I'm just not a camper. I'm not an outdoorsy.
I fucking hate camping.
I'm gonna quote Trixie Mattel here and be like, I want to say something controversial yet brave.
Trixie Mattel is a drag queen.
Yeah.
Look her up.
I don't ever give a fuck about seeing the Grand Canyon.
You just know you don't care about those. You don't care about those big like sites and everything like that. I don't think I do either. To be fair,
I've seen the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon, and every time I go out there, I go, "It's beautiful." I want to go back inside now. It's muddy out here.
I don't know. There's certain things. I don't know if I care about seeing the Grand Canyon either. Like I don't. It's a hole.
That sounds like it's a lot. Like I could just be in Vegas longer.
Yeah, I could just be getting drunk doing drugs. When you put it like that,
I could be inside a really cool underground mall.
I could be inside a stripper. That's what I mean. I'm just saying, like, you're right. It's just because what do you do except go and stare at something like that?
Which is great. It's just great if you're into it. I get, I would really have to get dragged out there. I
don't know if just to go to the Grand Canyon. Like if you're the whole trip, if you want to just go to the Grand Canyon, I don't want to do that shit. I'd be like, are we doing anything else?
Yeah, if it's the whole Vegas thing.
If we're like, we're gonna go to Vegas and hey, Brent really wants to see the Grand Canyon because that's where he was conceived. I'm like, okay. We're gonna go see the Grand Canyon.
Only if we're gonna see the spot where he was getting it. It's right here.
Right next to this donkey, actually. Anyway.
Still here.
Still here.
Yeah.
That's not a donkey. But yeah, you're right. I get it. I mean, that's because some people are into that. I mean, there's certain things like I want to go. I'd want to see like the pyramids or some shit like that.
Yeah,
like the pyramids.
Africa would be really sick. I want to
Great Wall of China is something actually. But like anything that's just like a hole in the ground and it's just like man-made, and I'm like, well, it's just a hole. Like I don't know.
Okay, the Grand Canyon.
Because the Hoover Dam too, I'm like, I could kind of wrap my brain around seeing that, but at the same time, it's just a wall.
Yeah, but like the presidents, I don't give a shit about that because I'm like, you guys just put white people in the fucking rocks. Way to go.
Look at him putting white people in the rocks again.
White people in the rocks.
Let me put it this way. If I don't.
That sounds like a drink.
What, white people on the rocks?
Yeah.
It's just a White Claw with ice in it.
Disgusting.
I don't know. Here's my thing about it. If I never see like Mount Rushmore, I'll be all right. I'm not gonna die. And my last breath would be like I never saw North Dakota.
Oh, that's where it's at. Yeah,
it's in the Dakotas. It's
one of the Dakotas. Yeah.
Yep. I'm sorry.
I love Canada though. Going to Canada is great. I grew up 2 hours from the Canadian border.
Oh, so you like hopped over all the time?
Yeah, like my grandparents are European, so that was
European, like French, like Quebecians.
No, I freaking went. Though my grandpa like would tell me things, and he did tell me when he first. So he's from Germany. When he first came over, he actually came.
He went to Brazil first and lived there for a little bit.
He didn't tell me
Nobody knows why. No,
maybe no, but he did come through Canada first. So he did tell me once that he was married or not married, engaged to a French Canadian woman at one point, and left and came to the States
because of her.
I don't know, but
he alluded to it's like things just weren't right.
He just said that. I was just like, but who knows? Who knows? But I just thought that was interesting. But no, my grandmother's from Skibbereen, Ireland, and they met in New York City.
They met in New York City?
Yeah.
That's a nice story.
Yeah.
Where do they meet? In like the Stork Club? I don't know. It's around that era.
They met. They just met.
He dropped my handkerchief.
I think because she was working in restaurants. I think.
Oh,
I think they just met like how
he just kept having lunch there.
Like, I don't know.
How old timey people meet is they just stalked one person stalked the other, and then eventually they're like, I guess
like it's very Charlie Kelly. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's very like. It's like there's I don't know who does the joke, this specific kind of joke, but it's something like, Grandma, how did you know that Grandpa was the one? He just kept showing up.
But
because that was the way that people that's how people got married. That's why there's so many. That was why there were so many people who hated each other in the marriages back then.
Yeah, but
closet case gay men and closet case lesbians because they just were like, we have to get married.
To those lesbians. No, so actually my mom was from Queens Village.
Okay.
So I have some distant Long Island roots.
So you have some Long Island
I have
roots.
some distant so my mom was went to Catholic school on the island for a bit, and then they moved to the opposite side of the
school.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. In that era? Ugh.
I know, right? Ugh.
I don't want to go to any Catholic anything.
No. I know. I'm culturally Catholic, I guess. You know,
I think I was raised.
Yeah, I was raised Catholic.
Maybe I'm supposed to be like. I think is Christianity and Catholicism the same thing?
People want to split it up, but
is it like same religion, half the guilt with some or something like that? Or
I mean, you can never get rid of Catholic. All I do is just sit up and think about things. I'm like, wow, I got to be better. And just think if you just like.
I just got to be better.
I just got to be I'm you know, and you can't unburden yourself anymore when you're an atheist because you're like, nope.
I think that's why I'm more of an. This is true though. I think I'm more of an agnostic at the end of the day because I am because I'm like, yeah, ghosts are probably real.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm like, all right, so like I'm open to the idea of like if it's, but who knows? It could be like Cthulhu. Like who gives a shit?
Right.
You know, the idea that you have it all figured out with one, probably not plausible.
I'm just not trying to worry about what happens when I die.
Yeah, that's also like a horrible thing
I got enough to worry about while I'm living.
Yeah, I give myself enough. I give myself enough anxiety. That was like the first real feel. What's this? Is this the Chris is always good with this. Okay, so it's the belief in the Holy Trinity. So they believe in Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and then they worship God and Jesus, and then just what does that mean? Christianity. Why is that the same?
You know, a nice way to spot a Catholic home too is a bathtub Mary.
Yes.
I like my non-Catholic boyfriend, and I like pointing out Catholic things to him because it's such a weird thing. It's like, and he never noticed a bathtub Mary before in his life. I was like, bathtub Mary?
I mean, it's just, I don't know. That's why I'm an agnostic.
I've seen a ghost. So
You've seen a ghost?
I've seen a ghost in Kane, PA. And the only reason I knew it because I saw it and somebody else saw it too.
You saw a ghost?
Yeah.
Never mind about your life. Tell me about the ghost.
Oh, man. Well, Kane, Pennsylvania. That's up in McKean County.
Okay.
The county I'm from. So there's a Catholic church there.
And you looked at me and you're like, there's a Catholic church there. I'm like, oh, she's setting the scene.
It's actually where I had my confirmation camp. Ooh.
Spooky. It's where I had my first kiss. No.
Okay. So we were sitting in the house across the street from it, and there is a very large lit up statue. I'm good on that right now. Thank you. A very large lit up statue of the female saint there. That it's attributed to
Saint Catherine.
Yeah, whoever.
Saint Bonnie.
And the light goes off, and I kid you not, like moments later, this just like womanly figure just comes up a driveway, like the driveway up, like because the church is like on a little hill. Like if you turn into it, you go down. So it comes right up this little hill, and I see it, and the person sitting next to me sees it, and that's the only reason.
Like a womanly figure? Did you see like anything flowing?
It was like a blackish, like just a fig. Like you could just. It was.
Did you guys like turn the car in reverse? Like ah!
We were sitting on the porch, just
you're on the porch. I'm sorry.
Oh my god! You know.
Did you run inside?
Yeah, and we were like telling people to look outside. And
were you high?
Yeah.
Okay, so 50-50. I've never seen anything like that though. No, I've been pretty stoned and in the woods before.
And there is like cane like Pennsylvania like haunted things, and
most of Pennsylvania is ghost country, from what I understand.
Like,
I've watched a lot of YouTube videos. Isn't there a town that's on fire constantly out there?
Centralia.
Yo, bring this up, Chris. This is the inspiration for the video game Silent Hill, I think.
Well, and it's crazy that more people like
Burning Town, Pennsylvania. Bring this shit up.
Yeah, it's a ghost fucking town now. Like in the true sense that like 3 people live there. But yeah, Centralia's spooky as hell.
This was like a mining town.
It's just burning for. We don't know how long it'll burn for. Or how like it's crazy to think like what if it just keeps burning forever?
So, in the early 60s, the borough of Centralia was just like any number of coal region towns in Pennsylvania. The community of roughly was at 1,500. 1,500 is not a lot of people. Was supported by a seam.
That's an average small town in Pennsylvania.
That's fair. A seam of coal that ran between the towns. So their whole business was a coal mining town. And then in 1962, a fire was lit in the town dump. Oh, they're burning garbage.
1962.
This is not that long ago.
But it's still burning. I mean, that's a long time for a fire to burn.
1962 fire was lit in the town dump and spread beneath the entire valley and threatened the community's existence. The full extent of the problem wasn't known until 1979. That's fucking crazy. When a gas station owner in Centralia measured the temperature of the gas in the underground containers to be more than 100 degrees above normal. The situation escalated further. When that's
like
the
ground can swallow you whole. The ground can swallow you whole there. It could just.
He was boiling gas. This is crazy. So there's like. So like I think like the bottom, like underneath this town is just a lot of cavernous. Like it's like you can still go there, but you have to be careful because a lot of it's just collapsed coal mines and it's still on fire.
It's still burning to this day.
They could never put the fire out.
It's a huge pollution. I know it's terrifying.
When did they abandon the town? Go back up there, Chris.
There's still like
Wait, by 1990, this was a thing. Into 1990, 63 residents remained.
I think more recently, I think it's only like down to like 3 households. I think it's up to like only.
There's
right, yeah.
There's still 10 people that by 2012. All right.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're still there, but I know like even more recently in 2012, I think there was like only like 3 households or so like still there. Like most people have.
That's just fucking insane. Crazy.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
This is why your entire state is haunted. Yeah, so that's fucking nuts, man. I remember going, this is the inspiration for the video game Silent Hill.
Okay.
That's how weird that's how like famous this is. But I didn't know that. I thought it like stopped. I thought they stopped it in the 60s. I didn't know that it was still a problem in 1990.
Well, and it's not even that it's burning and it could collapse everything. It's pollution, radiating. It's making a huge coal pollution just for it's not helping, it's not benefiting, where it's there's no gain.
But there's nothing, there's like nothing to do. I mean, I guess theoretically, eventually,
how do we solve this problem? How do we solve Centralia?
Technically, if the waiting game, it does say eventually everything will just collapse on itself.
Right.
And then the dirt will put the fire out. Because there's I guess unless you dug some sort of hole and like, kind of like, because imagine like not raging fire, but imagine like being that's like all of like the hot coals, like it's not necessarily all raging fire, it's just all ignited. Mm-hmm. So it's just burning coals and everything like that.
It's like toxic to go down and like
even so you can't breathe that in.
So
you can't send anybody. I would not send anybody down there.
No.
Yeah, look, you have pictures of this shit.
I went to college in...
look, it's got fucking smoking out of the ground like ghosts.
I went to college in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. So that's how I really started to learn about Centralia. Like the middle of the state, Pennsylvania's is just this weird mass, and it's got all these different regions that you've got the Pittsburgh side.
It's a weird place.
Yeah, like where I grew up is a weird like the Erie Buffalo era like kind of side. Then you've got like the Pittsburgh, which I lived in my 20s. I lived in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And then you've got like the middle of the state where I went to college, and that was just like it's I don't even know how to describe it. When people are like, "Oh, I love The Office. I love Scranton." It's like I'm like the middle of Pennsylvania is just
there's nothing there.
It's
like, just hill people and people who drink Mountain Dew in the morning.
No, that's West Virginia.
Excuse me.
Yeah. No, I love West Virginia. West Virginia is actually one of the nicest areas. The most beautiful people.
I don't think I've ever been.
It's
driven through West Virginia.
Even someone like me who barely likes being outdoors, it's beautiful to drive to West Virginia. And there was when I was coming up in the Pittsburgh comedy scene, there was a showcase like open mic thing that they did once a month in West Virginia, and they turned out for us every time.
Really?
They were so supportive and nice,
awesome.
And like the place was always full every time we did it. It was like mainly all just Pittsburgh comics, a couple West Virginia people. Sometimes people even came all the way down from Erie. Like West Virginia, I love. I do. How do they?
That'll be cut. Anyway, no. So, but you mentioned before starting comedy. So we were talking a little bit before. We talked about the history. Wow, that's fucked up. It's so cool though.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, at night, man. See what I mean though? Is that fire or just like the glow of? That's the ground on fire. That's so fucking cool though. That's gotta smell bad, right?
Yeah, right. There is a town called Johnsonburg, Pennsylvania, where there's a paper mill, and it smells terrible. It smells so bad.
Is it? What's this town that has the General Mills place? Is that upstate where it smells like Lucky Charms in the morning?
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah,
that sounds like St. Patrick's Day every day.
I don't know what state or town, but it's like wherever this is ADHD, the podcast.
Quickly on St. Patrick's Day, nobody does St. Patrick's Day like Pittsburgh. Like even the full.
But everybody says that about all their own towns.
Well,
I've heard people say that about Savannah, Georgia.
The full-grown adults that still like get up for like the beer and the Guinness and eggs and stuff. I was surprised. Like I was like, oh, people are committed to this holiday.
I did that once. I did that whole idea of like get up and like have breakfast and a Guinness and like. And then I just got wasted. Like
I've done the bar hopping streets, and it's just everyone's just drunk and mean, and it's not fun. So me and my best friend Michelle in Pittsburgh would do the Gaberhood for St. Patrick's Day.
And what?
The Gaberhood?
What's the? Like I thought you said the Gaper Hood.
No,
I'm like, that sounds weird.
No, like the gay neighborhood.
Like you're just spreading assholes or some shit like that on St. Patrick's Day.
No. But they had frozen Cosmos on St. Patrick's Day.
Frozen Cosmos?
Yeah.
Isn't that just a daiquiri?
I guess. It was good though.
I understand. Listen, I've had fishbowl drinks before. More power to you, sister.
Yeah. But that was like the nice place to go for St. Pat. Everyone was just like having a good time, but not it was like that was the best place to go for St. Patrick's Day in Pittsburgh.
I don't think I ever did like any major because like I hate most people. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
You know what I mean? So it's like I like my friends, but like I never really did the city. The only thing like every once we would go into we would just do it St. Patrick's Day around here. We go to like one bar from like 9 a.m. to like 11.
Yeah,
that was it. So
I don't need to do it anymore.
What does West Virginia do that's different?
I don't know what they do for.
You said they. I thought you said West Virginia is that does St. Patrick's Day like no other.
No, Pittsburgh.
Excuse me, I'm stoned. Anyway, but I digress. Before you had mentioned comedy. So when did you actually go to like Pittsburgh?
Right after so 2015.
Because you went to college in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, in Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
In Williamsport. Okay.
Yeah.
So did you start doing comedy in college? You said you were just before we were talking about actually.
So in college, I was still mascotting.
Oh, this is what I wanted to talk about. Oh my God. So yeah, I was trying to be like, when does this start? Okay, so college mascotting.
Well,
so this is kind of one of the first things I learned about you. Just as a person, just from hanging out at the mic and everything.
Yeah.
I think actually you told me this at the holiday party after you sang like Evil Woman. And I was like,
that I just like, I'm like,
you just like went
attention.
up there with like,
I just like to perform.
I was
I enjoy doing it.
I was like, those are my mascot moves. And I'm like, what? I was like, what?
Which is the coolest thing to say.
So you go to college. But take me through. I really want to take me through this. So when you go to college, you started in high school.
Yeah, I was the high school mascot.
How did this start?
Okay, so I was a soccer player, like since like.
So you were a soccer player, okay?
Yeah, but my parents had to drive me to town over just to play.
One of those where they didn't have soccer in your town.
Mm-hmm.
That's what football was where I lived. You had to go to the next town over.
And that town eventually got high school league because the area is really small. So most of the places don't have limited on sports because there's a limited amount of kids. Like,
and you said you played everything
we
too,
did everything
right?
Because like great example, and I'll jump back into the mascot story.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Senior year of high school, they had they weren't going to cancel all the bands, but they were going to cancel concert band because they only had like a couple kids that signed up.
Okay.
And that was a bummer for the kids that were in every band basically.
Okay.
For them to lose it. And so all of us most of us had quit doing any type of instrument in like 8th or like 7th
I
grade.
played the
all
drums
just
throughout high school because it was easy.
So I was on percussion and I was bad.
You had to learn the same thing, you know.
But so we all like rejoined. So it was kind of like that type of thing. It was like, well, we'd lose it if we wouldn't have joined. So
yeah.
So
you're saving classes for people, or trying to.
That was fun though.
Okay.
That was a fun year. But anyways, okay, that was senior year. Okay, so
take me through it.
So
the origin.
So I couldn't play soccer. They wouldn't let me play for the other school. My school wouldn't let me play for the other school. So a bunch of my friends had decided they were signing up for cheerleading, and I was like, oh, that is just not me. Though.
Did you seriously consider it though?
No.
You were like, no, absolutely not.
And I said, I will
be a flag girl.
No, I said, there's an unused mascot suit, and I want to be the mascot. And I showed up, and I just said, I want to be the mascot. And the coach wanted me to fly at the time, and I was like, no, I want to be the mascot. I don't want to be.
What do you mean fly?
Be a flyer. Like
what's a flyer?
Like in cheerleading, the people.
Oh, people get tossed up in the air.
Yeah.
It's because you're tiny, right?
Yeah, and I was a lot skinnier then. So I was like, no, I want to be the mascot, and I really.
No, we want you to get tossed up in the air, and maybe you'll get caught every time.
Yeah. So.
And what was the mascot?
So it's funny you said terror earlier. We were called the Terrors. We were a bulldog, but we were called the Otto Eldred Terrors. So
you were a bulldog?
I was a bulldog, and I had like jowls that I could flip like hair, and that bulldog always had outfits, and I got really. So
this is all because you refused to be a cheerleader.
Oh yeah. But
this is the most defiant thing you could possibly do, to be fair. If you were like, I'm going to do the exact opposite of that. I'm going to dress like a cartoon puppy.
It was so fun. And, I learned a lot. Like, I feel like there's definitely, like, I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was insane. But you learn how to control, especially, like, I went to mascot camp and everything.
So did you have to, like, train for this?
Well, as a joke, all the girls were going to cheer camp that summer. I was like, I'm going to go to mascot camp. And we looked it up online, and there was a thing in Hershey, Pennsylvania. So I went to mascot camp, and it was so fun. And
wait. You did not get to gloss over mascot camp.
Mascot camp.
There's a real mascot camp?
Yeah, they make movies about it and stuff. And I never watched them because they never get the essence of what actually happens at mascot camp.
Oh, stop.
But it's pretty silly. It's
So what did you learn at mascot camp?
A lot of.
How long was this?
You don't realize how much you need to rein in when you're in a costume. So, and how much like etiquette you need to learn, and safety of others, and I learned a lot. Also, like technique stuff, and like honing.
I did study. I did.
We did a lot of improv.
So what do you mean when you say like etiquette? This is interesting to me because I don't know shit about this.
Yeah.
When you say like etiquette,
like we had a person from Disney come talk to us, and like
a Mickey Mouse come and talk to you.
Yeah, like a person that had been a lot of characters, like had come and like did a whole spiel, and he like explained like not standing in front of trash cans and stuff, and like
So like there's like really like little things that you do.
Yeah.
What do you mean not standing in front of trash cans?
Went for photos.
Oh, you want a nice photo.
I want trash behind you.
Yeah.
And like working with handlers and your own safety and other people's safety, and but way more of it was fun improv, learning how to.
That's what I mean. As far as physicality goes, you're saying like the way that you move.
Like teaching people like how to move in the suits. And how to.
So was less more? Was less more, or were you encouraged to go over the top?
Oh, we were very over the top.
Yeah. Okay, but what
one of the things that were non-mascot camp, but I did go to Hershey for, was this thing called Big 33. Because they selected just 1 year, they selected a couple mascots.
You went to several mascot camps?
This was like a scholarship-y camp thingy. Like, I like lettered in being a mascot. So like,
wait, you had a jacket with a letter?
I didn't buy the jacket, but I did get the letter. Yeah.
So how many times did you go to mascot camp?
I think I went twice as a camper, and then once as a counselor. And then I did go to Hershey again for Big 33, which was like a different, but it was with the same people.
So what did you do in Big 33? Were you a mascot?
Yeah, on like
were you dressed up as?
That was just my bulldog.
So did you bring your bulldog costume with you when you went to mascot camp?
Yeah, they let me. Yeah, they let me bring my suit. Yeah. I was very bonded in that suit.
This is fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Like this is.
And I was a hula hooper, so that was like my trick to trade. Like I can do any type of hula hoop.
Oh, so you had to do like a thing that separated you from the other mascots. Like what's your little gimmick that you can do? Because you're a sports mascot.
Yeah.
You're not like a Mickey Mouse or anything. So was that specific? Or like, oh, you have to be a lot more physical. You're expected to do a lot more. Like you don't just have to wave and do the mannerisms of a cartoon.
Right. Yeah. But to the Disney people's credit, they are doing it in Florida.
Oh no, of course.
But
I'm saying, like immediately out of the gate,
you're doing a lot more performance art. Yeah, especially in a high school mascot, especially doing that, or like that when you're a basketball mascot.
Yeah.
Or football mascots are doing. I mean, I'm one of those weirdos. Like now, my boyfriend's friends are getting used to me whenever we watch a game. I'm like, oh my god, there's the mascot. Like
you're like all about the mascot.
I'm just. It's like those people that are really into referees or something. I don't know. Like I'm like, look at there he is. I just. I'm always excited when I see the mascots whenever I go to like a live sport event. I want to be Mr. and Mrs. Met, like really bad. I missed their meet and greet. I wanted to meet them.
Mr. and Mrs. Met.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love they expanded so many mascots. Do you know who the original Philly Fanatic is?
Dave Raymond.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you know that? That was just a shot in the dark. That was a shot in the dark. Look that up, Chris. Who was the original Philly Fanatic?
I think so.
I was like, I'm just gonna throw one out there and see if she answers it. And I'm like, Did you get like really into mascotting?
Yeah, I think I have an autograph from Dave Raymond. That the
original who played the original Philly Fanatic.
Oh, maybe somebody before that.
That's still the Dave. What's it say? Dave Raymond? Portrayers. Raymond's father. David Raymond. It was originally played by David Raymond. Holy crap. She answered that immediately. Even I know a lot about like the movie Ghostbusters, but I still have to think for like half a second. If you were like, who played Peter Venkman? I'm like, I'm Bill Murray.
He ran camps too. I did not go to one of his camps.
He ran camps?
Yeah, but I didn't go to one.
Dude, he's probably got crazy stories about getting into knife fights with people. Jesus. That was in the 80s.
The person that I was going to camps under, they like worked with.
Was there any nuts like mascot stories you heard? Like, was anybody like, you got to protect yourself out there? I got into a fist fight once with a mom and a husband one time. We were having a fight over a piece of cake at Disney World.
No.
It's a little over.
It's just teenagers. You just gotta watch out for teenagers. Just watch out for the teenagers. They'll get you.
Hey everybody, it's me, Joe. I have sponsors now, so you get to hear about some really cool products from now on, such as airvapeusa.com. Airvapeusa.com. It's fast, it's elegant, it's smart. Break away from the conventional and seek a new kind of experience, a vaping experience. Like, seriously, like I was on the website today, going around just checking out some stuff, and they have some really cool products on there, man. They have this one product called the Legacy Pro, like vape. I mean, you can use flour in it, you can use wax, and they say it's the only vape you'll need after you buy it. So I'm willing to take that challenge. They also have very innovative designs, and you're probably wondering how do they get these really innovative designs. Well, it's a combination of high-end materials and really cool ideas, basically. So they're able to make some really cool stuff. So come on, go to the website, airvapeusa.com, and check it out. And for a limited time, we're also going to be running a promo. Use promo code Millennial and get 15% off all vapes, okay? You got the link in the description down here. As I'm pointing, it's not here right now, but through editing, the magic of editing, it'll be here. All right? So promo code Millennial, get 15% off all vapes at airvapeusa.com. All right? Enjoy this episode.
But
they teach you to carry a taser on you. Keep it right here.
But so then in college, I went to Williamsport.
But just for the record, you're like after the high school experience of mascot, you letter in mascotting, and then you're just kind of like, I'm going to continue to do this. Did you? Because you could have gone to you could have went back and played soccer.
I kind of wanted to. I loved it. It was like the ultimate acting bug. And it was so physical.
Did you do any other performance stuff? I mean, you did a little improv, but did you do that like in high school? Did you do like plays?
I did. We did Little Shop of Horrors, and I had like.
Who'd you play? The plant?
I was like one of the main extras. because again, small town play. So what I did is
everybody's in it.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, but what I did is I went through the script and I counted through which ones had like the most lines, and I got myself like the most.
Were you one of the street urchins that likes also like the barbershop quartet?
It was a whore in the beginning, and then a couple characters in between, and I kept giving myself lines too. Like at one point, I'm just supposed to take flowers from Audrey, and I'm like, "Thanks, lady." Like I just was like putting lines in this show, just to, like
people remember me.
I'm gonna do stuff. I was a like Bill Murray's character. Is it Bill Murray's character
in the movie?
Yeah.
Which character?
No, Bill Murray's the one at the dentist.
Yes, that's the dentist.
Jim
character.
Belushi is, I think, the radio guy.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I think I was that character in it, so I got to say that my radio. I got to say that was Kelpy. That I was Kelper K.
Kelper.
Yeah, so I'm inserting myself into this play as much as possible because I just have horrible main character syndrome.
What's main character syndrome?
Where you just think like I it's like I think it's from being an only child too. Oh, I'm
just actively listening to you right now and just like I'm like, what is that? I don't know what that
is. It's something I should. It's not like good. But it's just like you're just living as the main character in your own story, which I feel like everyone should be. But
I understand. Yeah,
that but
so you decided to move forward with mascotting.
Well, so while I was still in high school, I got the Little League World Series talked to me.
Wait, did you play? Wait, to get as a mascot?
Yeah, to play baseball.
All right, I was asking.
Yes, to mascot.
They thought I was a 13-year-old boy, so they asked me.
Yeah. No. Which was tough. It was very strict, and I was definitely not.
Offers.
I was not grown up enough to do it at the time. I wish I would have taken it more seriously at the time. But I was starting college and stuff.
No, I was too much into the mascot debaucherous life, man. I was just partying.
It was starting. Well, it was college, But
did you ever get drunk and steal the suit?
No, I definitely wore the padding while smoking weed once, though.
There's got to be a picture of that somewhere holding the head. Like
no, definitely not that. I didn't have those pieces of the suit. There's like a
zip up. Oh, okay.
So that was my demise of being a hula hooping mascot, because a lot of mascots have these shapes in them where they have hoops in them. You can't hula hoop because it's not.
Now it just hangs, right?
Yeah, so it moves, so it I can't hula hoop.
That was the Philly Fanatics thing. He had the hoop.
So that kind of shape. So can't hula hoop in that type of thing though. Or if I asked the school to get me a new suit, so I was doing it for the college as well.
Oh, you asked for excuse me.
The college had this really yucky old.
So did you have to audition? Did you just walk in?
I just told them I was doing it.
I just told them I was doing it. Yeah. I am now, but there was no mascot.
No.
Did you have to fight somebody for this?
No. The only weird night was one night I showed up to do a soccer game, and I got to tell you, we're doing it for the college is why I really fizzled out of doing it, because
too much.
Nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
It was just too small of a college.
Well, you have to go to a bigger college. For that,
yeah. I was going to it was too small of a college for them to give a shit, and that's fair. So I did what I could, and I was losing my
luster.
Yeah,
my love for mascotting.
My love for mascotting was fading.
Just picture you sitting there, after a game, it doesn't go well, and you just got the head off, and everybody's like, "What's the matter, Kelp?" And you're like, "The heart's just not there anymore.
It doesn't feel the same.
I don't have it no more."
Doing Little League was a really cool experience. So
you did do the Little League.
I did the Little League, but I also worked for my college. So sometimes I would get
side gigs.
Well, sometimes I would get an email. I would get 2 emails because they would be like, "Hey, we want dugout for this, and we want."
Did you have
the
a tape?
Yeah, there was a DVD.
So how did you get offers? Did you have a web page?
Yeah, I had a DVD that was going around. That was edited for me.
So you had.
I don't know where it is now.
No, I'm just saying it was promotional. You'd give it to people.
With my face, me holding.
How many different characters did you have?
I just had the bulldog.
Oh, okay. I thought you said they would do they were who's? I thought you said dugout, and we need did we a wildcat or something?
Yeah, but I didn't have tapes. I had a tape made when I was in high school.
Okay.
I didn't have a tape.
So you would go play random other characters. They would hire you to be a mascot.
Yeah, I worked for Liberty Tax at one point.
So you were the
wave. Yeah, that was a low time for me.
That was when I was low time waving the cars.
I didn't like that because people could see my face. Oops, sorry.
It's all right. It's just a table. I think it was Chris's grandmother's left it to her.
Oh, shit.
Anyway.
Yeah. But,
so you're losing your luster for mascotting.
And it was, and understand when I was in high school, I forgot to mention, so my senior year of being a high school mascot, we got a new cheerleading coach, and she was smart and had me fly in costume.
What?
So
what do you mean fly in costume?
So they were throwing me up in the air with the full costume on.
I thought you meant like Kelpy. When you get on this plane, you have to do it in costume. You have to keep.
No, we were not flying for cheer competitions. So I was doing a lot more cheerleading style stuff that was, very, where in college, it just, they had a dance team and stuff, and I tried to do stuff with the dance team, but like it was just a different style. It was, it was time.
It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, and I didn't know at the time. Later, when I was living in Pittsburgh, I heard about people doing comedy in Williamsport, and I was like, there was a comedy scene in Williamsport.
Had you been into comedy before that?
Well, I had done a lot of improv, and I knew like when I was one of those little kids that's like, oh, I want to be a stand-up comedian when I grow up.
Really? You said that?
Yeah, and my parents were like, you got to have a day job. And you know what? I became a stand-up comedian with a day job.
So did I.
And I accept that. Like, I'm good with that.
I get to do what I want to do.
Most days.
Anyway.
Yeah, most days.
We're not talking about sad stuff yet. Yeah. Not yet anyway.
Sorry.
But so anyway, you go, so you were one of those kids that said that, and so you do all this other stuff and everything. And one of the constant things I see, like everything you just told me right here, is that you really do really like performing.
Yeah.
So did you ever not think about, and I'm just curious, did you ever, never crossed your mind?
I just think that I grew up too blue collar realistic. I think my parents just,
comedy, you were a bulldog in a costume. What's realistic about that? Like,
yeah, exactly. I guess so. I just,
acting comes with that stigma though, I think.
I think my parents were just like, you can do whatever you want as long as you please have a job. So
it's kind of how my parents were.
And it was, and I feel like that. I think I did hold myself back a little bit further because I feel like I probably would have, if I don't know if I would have gone back in time and fully committed to school because
this is the DeLorean scenario where you go back and maybe tell younger Kelp to be like, hey kid, just try.
I think I would have told myself.
Did you not really try hard in college?
No, it wasn't it. I think what I would have told myself is give myself a couple years. I think I would have told myself to work and decide what I wanted.
And then that goes. So you went right from high school to college.
Yeah, and I think I should have, but that's a luxury that only certain people have of just like being able.
We have life experience now, and a lot of that, I think that fuels most comedy, which is like, because I've talked to I've told people before, I'm like, every once in a while, I'm like, I wish I started this when I was like 21. And then a couple of people have said, and I've heard this said to other people before about like, well, what would you have talked about?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I know,
at 30, you had lived your 20s. That's a lot to talk about.
And I think of when I first started to what I'm doing now, and it's just like, I had to sling all that shit. I had to sling all that bad mud. You have to just keep, that I think when anyone's like, oh, I want to do it, it's like, just start. You just have to. Some of us are excellent. Some of us are just going to keep doing it, and it's gonna like just click. And so, I know a lot of my jokes are just these big, long, weird stories that I just have to figure. How long have you been
doing it for? You only doing it for 5 years?
Okay, I think it's okay. So when I look back and I try to do all the timelines and stuff, it's 6 years this March.
Okay,
I'm pretty damn sure.
So you started in Pittsburgh, right?
Yes.
So you're in the Pittsburgh comedy scene. You go to a mic. How do you start?
Well, I was working. I was getting paid in comedy classes at a comedy theater.
So they were paying you. It was like, hey, you get to take comedy classes for free.
Yeah, but I worked the door and stuff.
I mean, that's kind of like barking. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I really got to know some of the Pittsburgh comics, and so I love them.
How is the Pittsburgh? I'm just genuine. I'm not asking you to talk shit for the record. I know it's probably different. What,
it is, yeah. If I went, honestly, if I visited Pittsburgh tomorrow and did, I would not see, most of the people that I would see before. But anyways, it's a big clump of a scene. Everyone's pretty damn good to each other, though. Okay. I will say, it's very hometowny in that sense. It's definitely a like prove yourself town. But I grew so much there, and
How did you do in taking the comedy classes? How do you? Because I've heard a lot of people say varying things about comedy classes.
Well, most of them were improv classes. I only did one stand-up comedy class.
Okay.
And
what did you feel about it?
I think it didn't doesn't teach you how to do stand-up comedy. It teaches you
structure and shit.
It just teaches you how to it takes like, okay, any questions that you have, like I know like people are like, okay, somebody has a tampon joke. Does that mean can I not do a tampon joke? It's like, no, you do your tampon, your tampon joke. It's just like answers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's more explanation for things like that of walls that you do hit when you are writing and stuff. And,
how to get around that stuff. It's all technique stuff, probably, right?
Yeah,
and structure.
Like literally teaching you to put the mic stand behind yourself, like literally
isn't that a big thing?
like
I was telling somebody recently.
Learned that in school. I learned that in class.
I was telling somebody recently. I'm like, how do you feel you've grown? And I'm like, just physically, like I hold the mic differently from when I first started.
I love doing this now.
See, I started like that. I do this. I do like this, almost the Seinfeld, like this now. I do this.
It's because you got to hold that mic cord.
Yeah. But like it's like it's funny, and like I used to move around a lot. I'm grounded more, and that's little things. I didn't take a comedy class. I just like looked at a tape of myself. I'm like, my God, I'm like a gerbil with Tourette's up there.
Back and forth like
that doesn't really help, unless you have a big wide stage. If you're on a small stage, like you have to kind of use the energy in the right way, or else it's going to come off as too much. And that's the thing, like. That's the stuff that probably a comedy class would teach. I've heard other people say you don't really need to do it because the best
you don't need to.
The best experience is just to go out there and keep doing it.
You don't need to, but it does. It also comes down to the person telling you. Somebody could be teaching you all this bullshit theory or whatever. I was lucky. I had dude's name's Wolfie in Pittsburgh. Awesome dude. He taught the class, and it was just more like stuff like that.
So you did improv too?
I did lots of improv. I was in a all women's improv group.
What was it called again?
Gender neutral. Yeah,
it's just fun. They always have the corny ass names. It's just like like
I'm pretty sure that was before,
or something like that.
I think that was before I officially started doing stand up too, because when I was doing a lot of improv, it really forced me more to be like, I want to be my own net, and I just want to do what I want to do.
I was going to say, do you find one of the reasons that you did comedy is because you kind of can do it on your own?
Yeah, I wanted to. I'm like, and it's all I ever wanted to do. Like, I'm like, I don't care if I'm,
that's a big plus.
Like,
if you're okay with like solitude, it's a big plus.
Yeah, like I'm like, if I bomb on my own accord, okay, like, but it's I don't know how other people when they get off the stage. I either feel amazing or like I know I could do better.
How do you feel when you get on before you get on stage? That's a better question, I think.
Okay. Usually I'm just like doing that material, like, because the way I remember jokes is like big, like a chunky
layer.
Text of just like the main headline of each joke.
And then you go, because I've seen you do I've seen a few of your jokes at this point, and you've done them differently. But it's the same joke, but you do it's a little differently every time. It's not like you write the whole thing out.
No, I think finding word I'm like, okay, I have the premise. How do I explain it? And the only way for me to really write these jokes is for me to test words out with it and just kind of find the word choice.
I think having a good vocabulary is a good thing.
Yeah.
A wide one. At least as long as you know what you're talking about.
Oh, I don't.
Well, I'm just saying from a genuine standpoint, like just look the word up. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to use the word lugubrious, just look it up. See, I don't even know what it means, but I know it's a word.
Oh, cool.
Chris is going to look it up right now.
Okay. I'm excited. I'm excited to find out.
So, yeah, I was just asking, like, do you get nervous or anything? Does any kind of nerves play into that or anything? Because I still get nervous.
It depends on the night. Like, it's
lugubrious, looking or sounding sad and dismal. Okay, thank you.
When it's in front of like a newer group of people that I haven't done it for, I am very concerned about what the audience thinks, but I also am like, what do the comics think? Did the comics think that was like a well crafted set? That's
because sometimes you won't get a laugh out of a comic, but they'll be like, good joke, and you'll be like, well, you didn't laugh. It's like, yeah, it's because you get numb to it sometimes after a while, but like they'll be like the structure of this, blah blah.
I am so listening everywhere I go, but there are times where I'm like, And I'm still listening, but it's just we're at so many open mics. That's why people are like, what stand up do you watch at home? I'm like, bitch, none.
Yeah.
Like I feel like watching no stand up.
I do. I'm a fan.
I'm really bad about that. I'm like, I used to watch so much stand up before I started doing it, but
I'm such a fan of it. Like of comedy.
I'm a 3 special a year type of person.
That's fine.
Yeah, like that's
fine. I mean, it's like because everybody's you do your own thing.
Watch so much stand up.
I love it. I do, because there's always something new. There's some clip. I have I follow all kinds of clips and everything just to like.
Well, that's different. I watch so online. I watch a lot of stand up.
That's what I mean. You're always watching stand up. That's true.
Exactly. Yeah. I am watching. So
no specials because like I have a list of specials I still have to watch.
That's how I feel.
You know what I mean? I listen to a lot of Sirius XM and everything like that, like Comedy Central Radio and shit, Faction Talk. So I'm like,
comedy podcasts are definitely
and like so. In that aspect,
I'm more like back scenes. I guess is where I've
you like to see how things are. What's a back scene?
I said I don't know.
Is that for your back disease?
I like the backstage.
The backstagey stuff.
The backstage
behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
Back scenes. Episode over. What is this?
That's good weed.
That's good weed. She said that's good weed.
Back scenes.
Behind the scenes.
So I have a great vocabulary.
Anyway, so you like the behind the scenes stuff, but you do watch comedy.
So I watch a lot of.
So who's like the people that you like, that you look up to, the people that you influence you and shit? I know it's like a softball question, but it's a question I like talking about.
So my classic comic ladies, of course, are Phyllis Dillard.
Like Lucille Ball?
And Lucille Ball.
Yeah, I understand.
Who James
Lucille Ball was a baller. Lucille Ball was a fucking baller. She was fucking great. She established
physical comedy.
Established one of the first real TV studios. She did that shit.
Oh yeah, she did.
Yeah,
she had so many shows too.
She did.
Unlimited anyway.
People don't realize what kind of how many shows she was attached to.
Yeah.
So like Phyllis Diller.
Oh, and she makes me feel like, especially when I first started doing comedy, it's like I would wear a lot of makeup, but I would get mad because I would see photos of myself from the stage and I wouldn't see any makeup and I would be pissed. I was like, well, what am I doing wrong? So watching her and seeing other drag queens, I started like doing this like makeup bigger and bigger and bigger because I'm like, I want the back of the room to be able to see my face like this. So she really helped inspire like the like me doing a lot
louder. I want to look like a Dilophosaurus in full plume.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I want you to see my makeup in the back of the room. So a lot of drag queens inspire me too.
So you inspire your look is drag queen inspired, but Phyllis Diller inspired as well.
I would definitely say so.
Who's the modern comics that you like?
Definitely Mindy Kaling.
Okay.
Kaling,
For her stand up or her writing?
Actually, her writing.
Because she's probably known more for her writing at this point.
Actually, her first book was why I finally was like, I have to start doing. I had just recently moved to Pittsburgh and I was reading her book on the way to work, and I was like, I have to start doing comedy classes or I'm never going to feel fulfilled comically. I'm just not going to, if I'm not just at least doing it.
I understand.
So she was a huge like jumping off point for me. Chelsea Handler is why
she's funny.
I love Chelsea Handler, and she's like God tier. I loved both of her shows.
Who's that? She did You Gone to Be Kidding Me?
Oh, I didn't even watch that.
I remember my ex-girlfriend loved that one. I watched it. It was pretty funny. She's filthy. I you can get me like I'll listen to anybody. If a joke is well crafted, I'm gonna laugh at it.
The one that's gonna make me really lame, but I really enjoy this one with my mother, and we would buy all of his DVDs and stuff. But I fucking love Jim Gaffigan.
I love Jim Gaffigan.
I love Jim Gaffigan
What's wrong with Jim Gaffigan? Jim Gaffigan rules.
I love him. And it was something me and my mom enjoyed so much, just like crying, laughing from him. He was so great. He is so great.
Him and
I'd love to meet him. Can I? Oh,
Brian Regan. You know Brian Regan?
Hasn't he gone Deep End? Is that Deep End? Is he from Half Baked?
No.
Who's the guy that's gone crazy from Half?
That's Jim Brewer.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
No,
okay.
Brian Regan.
Okay.
Did you ever hear the one the bit that the guy talks about? You got to toast a Pop-Tart. It's like, what do they have instructions on a Pop-Tart? Step 1, toast Pop-Tart. Like, you ever heard of that guy?
Yes. Okay.
Or he's like, that guy and Jim Gaffigan are the two best clean comedians besides Mike Birbiglia.
I know.
Think.
And
because Gaffigan does shit that's so fucking simple. And that's what comedy is supposed to be, because he was doing a Hot Pocket joke when everybody probably had a Hot Pocket joke, because it was all over TV. You know what I mean? But he did he did like his version of the Hot Pocket joke. Right. So there it is. I love Jim Gaffigan. That's a great one. I always watch his new specials when they come out.
He's great. Fortune Feimster.
Fortune's fucking hilarious.
I met her when I was a baby comic.
She had a half-hour special on, I think, The Degenerates beautiful. Or some shit. She was very funny.
She's so great. I got to see before the Netflix special came out, like, you know, people are touring and making sure that set's good. So I got to see that in Pittsburgh.
Oh, I always like when I know, so I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm going to try to see these guys. So then when I saw the special, I felt insider. What was the word I said earlier? Vaccine. Vaccine. I felt like I was vaccine. That sounds like, so cool. It does sound like a Dolly Parton interview.
Oh my gosh, Dolly Parton.
You want to talk about Dolly Parton?
Please.
Bring it up.
Let's bring it.
I love Dolly Parton.
I love Dolly Parton. I love Roger the Alien singing Dolly Parton.
I love Dolly Parton. I love him, sir. I love it so much. I remember going purely for the fact that I like went to Dollywood.
Oh, did you go to the church? Did you go pray?
Like, no, I did not. That's the one thing where I'm like, that's good. Like,
that's what I'd have to do if I went there.
But I was like, this is fucking amazing. And then I was like, I don't even know. I think I realized in that moment, because this is like my ex-girlfriend kind of got me into Dolly Parton and shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not like driving around like, you know, like crying over Jolene or anything like that. But like, there's Dolly Parton songs in my everyday list. And but Dollywood is an extravagant fucking place.
Well, and I love Dolly Parton movies too. Like I love
9 to 5?
9 to 5. I love Steel Magnolias.
I think I only saw Steel Magnolias once.
You need so that's like a once. Let's be
fair. That's
Easter
a very chick movie.
You can watch it this Easter. It's an Easter. It's Easter themed.
I'll watch it with all my aunts. That'll be good.
If there's a holiday in that movie,
it's Easter.
It's it like
Well, the whole movie's in pastels, I think, too. But what was I saying? So I like Dollywood and all that shit, and I was just like, this lady's a mogul. Very impressive. She's just nice.
She's got the cake mixes out right now. I really want
cake mixes.
Yeah, she's got like Haagen-Dazs. Like
she's best friends with Miley Cyrus.
That's her goddaughter.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's her goddaughter.
Jesus Christ.
I love Miley Cyrus too. Miley Cyrus. Obviously, I'm stealing her. I need to update the. I don't know.
That's like old Miley.
I know she doesn't have the mullet anymore, but I'm keeping the mullet for a bit longer. I like it.
Everybody always asks, because I usually hate stuff like that.
Yeah.
And everybody's asked, like, why don't you hate Miley Cyrus? And I go, how can I hate on someone who like literally like got away from Disney, and like you wouldn't want to do the complete opposite of that for like the next 4 years just to watch the mouse off you?
Probably my favorite nepotism baby. Like
she admits it at least.
Yeah, she's like about it at least. I appreciate that.
She had that throat surgery too and shit.
Oh my god.
So I don't hate Miley Cyrus. I'm like, you got away from Disney World, of course.
When Bangers came out, oh my god,
twerk and do coke, whatever you want to do.
I was like 21 when Bangers came out, so yeah, my fucking.
That was your shit.
That was my shit. I think I'm the exact same age. Yeah, she's born 92. Yeah, so.
That was my anthem.
Yeah.
So that came out, and I was just like, yeah, I get it. Everybody was like, oh my god, did you see what happened to Hannah Montana? And I'm like, yeah, she grew up, and it's kind of nice.
I have heard some good things about when she was Hannah Montana. Like, yeah, obviously very hard.
Watch any. I think my sister watched that shit.
You know, obviously it's hard to be like she went through some shit, but I do appreciate. I heard that like her mom made sure she was there for every costume change. Her mom like changed her because she had to change characters between
like live shows,
between live shows and stuff. And I thought that was like, oh, that is just good to hear that like her mother was like, I will change her. Like
Martha Cyrus was there.
Yeah, I was like, I love to hear that because you hear about like Pat Bynes. Poor man, Amanda Bynes.
I don't know what happened to Amanda Bynes, but God, something terrible did. Oh man! Ever since I heard that story of her throwing that bong out that window, and I'm like, something's not well in Amanda Land. But we have set some time left. So Pittsburgh, how long would you do comedy in Pittsburgh for?
Oof. I think okay, so I lived in Pittsburgh like 7 years. I was working at Are
you doing spots too?
Not a ton.
Or you just showcases?
I was not doing a ton. Right towards like the last like my first 2 years, I was like, you know, I was floundering. I would get stuff here and there, but it was like still learning how to do it, you know. And then right, like the last like 2 years right before COVID, I was like really picking up steam.
And you said you stopped doing improv and you're doing comedy
I was just doing stand up. Yeah, I was only doing stand up.
And then COVID happened.
And then yeah, literally.
So how did you cope with that?
So I did some like Zoom stuff. I remember.
Not the same for me.
Not
I'm
the
not
same.
saying like
it was
some
not
people
it.
loved it. I was not one of the people.
I didn't love it. I did it sometimes just to still be doing it.
There's no crowd.
Yeah, and then so after COVID, I made it even tougher on myself because I moved out to DFW, like Dallas Fort Worth area, and I like was trying to get back into comedy, like like restart like we all were, and I was like living my flop era, like it just like nothing was timing up for me, like especially like just life and having to work after coming back from that, and just like finding what I wanted from the old year, like what I was doing new, and like even just figuring out who like I'm like, where am I now with this?
Yeah.
But as tough as that was, I'm glad that I just kept slinging jokes, and that's what you have to do with some of the like.
Yeah, whatever your act is, do your act, write jokes.
Just keep going, because I mean, and then
because we're still doing that. We still are. Like it's like even like I always tell people like I don't even when I talk about like I don't ever like to like dissect talk about comedy. I just talk about what works for me. You know what I mean? Like writing jokes, going to mics. That's all I know that works for me, and everything like that. But we're still doing that shit.
Well, even so right before I left Texas, I got asked to do a show in Dallas. Fucking killed it, and like went out and did one of my friends was like, "Oh, be on my podcast." And I'm like, "Damn, my momentum right when I'm gonna move is gonna pick up here." And I went down to Austin really quick and did a night in Austin. I had only been there a year, and I had not gone down to Austin yet. That was amazing. That was the night. I went out. I was ready, and you don't know how often you're hearing if they're saying it to everybody, but when you go up and you have like the person hosting come up later and be like or right, like the guy came like actually right over to the bar, because I ran right to the bar after. He came right up to me and was like, "Let me know next time you're in town." I was like, and it was like, I wish I had more time in Texas, but also knew it was like not not where I wanted to live.
Were you considering living there?
I was living there. Well, not in Austin.
Not Austin. I was talking to Austin specifically.
I mean, if I would have stayed in Texas, but I just knew that I was an East Coast person. I just in
your blood. Well, you were talking before how you hate camping, and I hate camping too, and like I'd rather just because some people I don't know. I have like friends that like moved out to North Carolina and like Georgia and shit, and I'm like, look at all the land, and I'm like, where's all the people?
Yeah.
Like even though I hate people, I'm like, I don't like that there's no people around. Like I don't like that. And it's always just something about it so weird.
Because I like living on the island. I like going into the city.
Yeah.
I wish I had time to do it more often. I'm going this weekend. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
but I really fell in love with Texas. Like we just visited there and we saw everybody, and like I think it's great, and I want to go down and do more in Austin.
Okay.
Definitely do more stand up there. It's a great comedy scene, and what's nice is DFW is tough because everything's you have to drive. Everything's distant. If you want to try to hit multiple mics, they're all in these like Arlington, Irving. And they're hikes. So the people that do it in DFW are like committed. They are fucking doing work.
Yeah.
Like it's a really good scene. I just felt like I had with work and everything. Like I felt like I was getting out there as like just as much as I could. Like type of like part of my life where it's like so I came back to Long Island and started doing stand up here, and it's just
why Long Island?
My boyfriend that I met out
in Texas
is from Smithtown.
Okay.
So we came out here.
Okay.
And I just finally felt my groove again too. And
it's a different scene, but there's definitely a scene out here too. So you kind of jumped in.
And it wasn't like I jumped in with all new material. I had been working on Long Island material for the last month in Texas to work. So I had like come with a prepared bit, and it was like I was like, all right, they like this. And it's going great. I really like the Long Island scene. I really do. I like going into the city. I want to go into the city more and do more out there. But I've been I don't know. I feel like I'm just gonna start trailing at this point.
You're not trailing. I was just seeing where you're at.
Yeah,
we're about done. I just wanted to make sure I covered all bases. You have a very interesting life.
Oh,
You've done a lot of weird things, really, is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean that in a good way.
Thank you.
You know, you were a bulldog for like a whole chunk of your life.
Well, yeah, in high school. Yeah, for the tail end of high school, it was part of my identity. I have senior photos with like
yeah, but like
head.
no, it was yeah. You like say it like it was part of my. Like, you went to Mascot camp twice. Like that's like there was a point in your life you were like, man, one day I'm gonna be doing this on the highest level.
I thought I would do like Nickelodeon at some point.
You thought you were gonna be Nickelodeon?
I thought I was gonna do that. Like I never thought about doing like I knew Mascot people that had gone and done the Disney thing where you stay in the hotel and stuff. I know a comic who is fucking killing it in Austin, and she used to do the cruise ships for Disney and stuff.
Really?
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's Disney.
Yeah.
Next time you come on, we'll have to. You can. Well, I'll bring up some Mascot videos and you can critique them.
Okay.
I don't know. Just gotta make content.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know, do you keep up? So you said you don't keep up with Drag Race right now?
No. We're about done. It's fine.
Okay, we're done. Okay.
I saw that and you're like, so what else do you want to talk about? No, we can wrap up. We can do plugs now because I started this 10 minutes late, so I know we've done it over an hour.
I feel like I'm
Talk about so many things.
Was that last part?
About so many things.
Was that last part okay? I feel like I was like the downer.
No. talked about so many things. We talked about a burning town. We did like a ghost tour of Pennsylvania. It's great.
Yeah.
All right. So you did a great job. Okay. I was happy to have you on. I'll have you back on.
All right, cool.
Do you want to plug your show? Because it'll be out before it comes out, the one that I'm on.
Yes.
March 31st at the Blockhead Brewery?
Squarehead Brewery. What we're going to do is we'll I don't know if you can hold your phone up so they can scan it, but we'll put you can also go to squareheadbrewery.com.
Okay, we'll put the link up under you. If the camera's on Kelpy, I'll put the link up right below her.
Yeah, squareheadbrewing.com. If you scroll to the bottom of the page, it'll say comedy show and you can buy a ticket there. So it's only 18 online. It's going to be 25 at the door.
Yeah.
But really cool spot, and we've been having a lot of fun at Squarehead.
Yep, I'm gonna be on the show because, and I would plug my next two shows, but April 22nd, come down. I'll be at McGuire's with a very funny lineup, a lot of funny comedians. Come on down. It's Terry McNeely's birthday show. 8 o'clock show, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I will. But that's it. Kelpy, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'll definitely have you back on again in the future. Everybody, I'm going to say this again. Like, share, and subscribe, man. Keep subscribing to the page. Keep following stuff. Keep liking the reels. Do all that stuff. I appreciate it. And share it. I would love if people shared more stuff. All right. Cool. Goodbye.
The Millennial Stoner outro song. Yeah, pack a bowl and sing along. Blah, la, blah, la, blah, la, 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 la. Ba, ba, blue sheep, ba, 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 ba. This is the favorite podcast of the Dalai Lama.